Bitcoin is the world's most secure and decentralized computer network, and anybody could contribute to its decentralization by running a Bitcoin full node in their home. Seen here is a video of my Bitcoin full node working in my living room here. With this node, I can use the Bitcoin network in a permissionless manner. In this video, we're going to learn about what the Bitcoin node is, what its functions are, and how I would recommend you, a new node runner, goes about their journey if they want to run a full node at home. So let's get to it. So a Bitcoin node is simply any computer that you have that is running the Bitcoin core software. In this image here, this black and gray box here is a little computer that I have. This is called a Raspberry Pi, and this has the Bitcoin core software running on it at all times. So 24/7 it's running. Right below it is this gray little glowing box here, and that is a SSD, kind of like a big thumb drive. It's just used to store data. So this Raspberry Pi has a very special job, and what he does is he's verifying every single Bitcoin transaction, and then if he says, hey, this transaction is valid, then he records it into his own copy of the blockchain. So Bitcoin nodes all around the world all have their own copy of the blockchain. The Raspberry Pi is what I chose to use for my Bitcoin full node, but you can really use anything you want. Like maybe you have an old laptop lying around, you'd be able to use that. But I like the Raspberry Pi because it's cheap and the ongoing costs are minimal since it doesn't draw too much power. I'll pop up some math here on the screen showing what my expected costs are of running this Bitcoin full node, but I believe it's like around $4 the last time I checked. I also want to add that this Bitcoin full node is not a miner. So not all Bitcoin nodes are miners. A miner is something else entirely. And if you want to see a video on that, please do let me know and I can get that planned out. But let's talk about some of the functions of the Bitcoin node. So let's imagine this is me or you, and this is the Bitcoin full node we have running in the living room there, right? So our full node is connected to other nodes, and those nodes are connected to other nodes, and this is essentially what the Bitcoin network is. So by running a full node, you are directly a part of the Bitcoin network. So your Bitcoin full node, like I said, it's used to verify the authenticity of every transaction that goes through it, and then it maintains its own copy of the blockchain. So this is how nodes can pop in and out of the network and the blockchain integrity still stays intact. So another thing I want to add here is the Bitcoin full node is used to broadcast transactions through and to get chain information from. So if you are, if you're making transactions or if you're like getting chain information, if you're not using your own Bitcoin node, you are using someone else's, and that person can decide to block you access from it whenever they want, or maybe they can decide to feed you the wrong information. By running a Bitcoin node, you can use the Bitcoin network in a permissionless manner. No one can stop you from performing operations you want to perform on-chain, like broadcasting transactions. Additionally, because every Bitcoin node is holding its own copy of the blockchain, if the feds wanted to kill the entire Bitcoin network, they'd have to go to the homes of everybody that's running these nodes. If we look at this next picture here, we can see that nodes are distributed globally. So stopping this whole network is a lot easier said than done, because you'd have to go to everyone's home and you'd have to knock it down. You have to confiscate their nodes. Here in America, we still have our Second Amendment rights, and a lot of us are very freedom-minded. So we won't be giving up our Bitcoin nodes without any resistance. So now you might be thinking using a node might be kind of difficult, right? It does all these crazy things. How do I know how to do any of these things? Well, it's much simpler than that. So I'm gonna pop up my Sparrow wallet here, and you can see here at the bottom right, we have this blue little button. This means that our Sparrow wallet is connected directly to our Bitcoin node. So whenever I refresh this page here, I'm getting chain information, and this is all happening through my Bitcoin node. So it's a very passive operation. You basically just set up your Bitcoin full node on your network, and then you link your wallets to use it. So if I click server here, you can see that I'm pointing to a local system on my network here. You could tell by the 192.168 part. And if I test this connection, you'll see my custom message that I set when I had first built my node. So it's really easy to use your Bitcoin full node to do these operations that we're talking about. You can see your addresses, you can see your UTXOs, you can send transactions, you can do all these things, and it's all happening through your node in a permissionless manner. This is why we say don't trust, verify in the Bitcoin network. So what do you need to run your Bitcoin full node? You don't need much. You just need a computer that can run the Bitcoin software 24/7. You need the Bitcoin core software itself, and you need enough memory for storing the chain data. and then you need an internet connection. So those are the only things you need. It's pretty cheap to do. And if you want it to be anonymous, you could run your Bitcoin node using the Tor network to prevent any prying eyes from knowing what you're doing with your internet data. So if all this sounds good and you're ready to jump right into running your own node, I'd recommend you start with an off-the-shelf solution. So there's options like MyNode or Umbrel. They're two different things, but they're both pretty easy to use. I wouldn't recommend doing a full custom setup yet if you don't know what you're doing, just because it can be tricky. You gotta work in the command line and do all that stuff if you're gonna do it on your own. So for the average user, I recommend just picking an off-the-shelf solution. Personally, I recommend MyNode just because this is how I started and I have experience with it. But all you got to do to use MyNode is, first off, you got to just pick up a Raspberry Pi computer. I'd recommend this one that I linked here. These are affiliate links, and I'll put them in the description below as well. But I recommend the newest Raspberry Pi, and I wouldn't get anything less than 4 gigabytes of RAM, just because you're going to have your node working for you, and it's just good to have extra RAM to prevent lockups from happening. You also need an SSD to store chain data, so I also linked that here. But if you do decide to do the MyNode route, just go ahead and pick up these parts, and then you can head over to the MyNode website at mynodebtc.com, also link in the description, and you can just go through it. Right, hit the download button. I think it takes you to the how-to page. So let's see, and you just follow the instructions here. So it's very straightforward to get started with MyNode. I do offer consultations on my website here at the top. So if you do need, if you need more help, if you need one-on-one help, just go ahead and click this and book some time with me, and I'd be happy to help out. So that's pretty much all I have here today. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment section below, or just share your node setup tips, or your whole setup if you are running your own node currently. Links to everything are in the description. Also, on a side note, it has been a while since I last posted, so I'm sorry about that. But getting all the comments from you guys and running up my channel, I had like 20 subscribers like a month or two ago. So watching me hit 80 and almost 100 has been quite the journey so far, and I'm very thankful for everybody here. And if there's anything you want to see, do let me know. I just want to help out. I think Bitcoin is for everybody, and yep, that's about it. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you later.